Hi, I'm Gabby from GoNaturalEnglish.com, and today I want to share a sneak peek of my complete English course, Fluent Communication, with you. This course is designed to turn the intermediate English learner into a fluent and confident English speaker who can communicate clearly and express themselves in any situation. So first, we're going to start with a video lesson that will show you how to boost your English learning, strategies to learn faster. Then I'm going to share a writing assignment with you, which you can write in the comments of this video for corrections. And then I'm going to share real native conversation with you and teach you how to understand every aspect of what native speakers say. Then we're going to have another writing assignment for you to introduce yourself in the comments. So I'm really going to show you quite a lot inside the complete Fluent Communication course today. And I want to encourage you to join our pre-registration, which is open today, to get all the details about what the course is, how it works, the method that we use, the benefit to you when you join the course, how feedback and corrections and speaking practice works too, because speaking practice is not something we can really practice here on YouTube, but it is part of the course. So you can get all the details, all the information on how to join when you pre-register at gonaturalenglish.com/pre-reg. As you're watching this sneak peek inside the course, you can go to gonaturalenglish.com/pre-reg and enter your name and your email address to pre-register to receive more information about how the course works, the price, and how to join. So we'll see you there. Let's start with study tips so that you can learn English faster and more easily.
Hello, and welcome to 7 Tips for Faster Learning. I'm your English teacher, Nikita, and I'll be teaching you very specific strategies for being able to get the most out of your time. Number 1 is to take care of your body. Eat healthy, get enough sleep, and most importantly, exercise. Exercise reduces insulin resistance, inflammation, and stimulates the release of growth factors. All of these affect the health of the brain cells you need to master anything, especially something as complicated as English fluency. Plus, it improves your mood and sleep and reduces stress and anxiety. Take care of yourself and you will see the benefits everywhere. Practice the same skill in different ways. This course is designed to give you several opportunities to read, speak, write, and listen to English. You will get specific lessons, hear conversations, practice pronunciation, read PDFs, write in a journal, and speak in the online fluency club. To get the most out of the program, do everything. Do everything twice in a different way. For example, watch the videos with captions on the first time and without captions a second time. Take the multiple choice quizzes and try to make up your own questions. Watch and comment on your classmates' videos. Post your own videos and re-record them when you get feedback. Write it down. Keep a paper journal to take notes throughout the course. My suggestion is to write the date in the top corner of each new page so you can track your progress throughout the course. Your brain processes information differently when you write it down. Not type it up on your computer, but get a pen or pencil in your hand and write down your answers, write down your notes, write down your thoughts. We're going to introduce you to some journal assignments. I suggest to handwrite them first and then type them into the online fluency club. Talk to yourself. Talking out loud, even if you are repeating from the video or from text, activates a different part of your brain. The more parts of your brain you activate with a new skill, the more things your memory has to attach to. When you are doing your lessons, choose a place where you can talk to yourself. Chunk your study time. Break your study sessions up into 20 to 30-minute chunks and take a break in between chunks to do something fun or active, like take a quick walk outside or play a game. To increase your ability to learn even more, sleep in between repeated study sessions. For example, you can watch one of the videos and write your notes during a 20-minute chunk in the evening. Then, the next morning, review your notes, watch the video, and take the quiz. Studies show that even if you spend the same amount of time studying, this pattern is more helpful for your long-term memory. Choose a successful environment. The place in which you study affects how you'll remember the information. Choose a space that is well lit, especially if you can find one with natural light. Make sure it is quiet enough that you can practice speaking out loud to yourself, and as free as possible from distractions. Put your phone on Do Not Disturb and stay focused on the lesson. Find a place that works for you. I personally have to get out of my house to do most of my work. Other people have a particular seat or table in their home that they always work at. Whatever you choose, be intentional, meaning choose it for a reason, because it will help you improve. And my favorite part is reward yourself. This is important. You have to remind yourself that this is important by giving yourself a reward. Treat yourself every time you finish all the parts of a module or whenever you complete the task that is hardest to you. Some people reward themselves for posting a video to the Fluency Club. Others reward themselves for finishing all of the quizzes in a module. Others reward themselves when they watch all of the videos. Whatever you need to keep reminding yourself to keep learning. We are here to cheer you on and help you through the course, but your success is up to you. We know you can do it, and we're so excited to get started.
I hope you enjoyed those study tips. Next, we have a writing assignment for you. So pull out your keyboard or get ready to write your answer in the comments.
Hello, Go Natural learners. My name is Nikita, and I'm going to be introducing you to one of the most interactive parts of our course. Journal entries are a great opportunity to write about a topic that will combine the skills that you have learned so far. Writing your entry on paper, we suggest keeping a Go Natural English journal. Then typing your entry in the online community will improve your long-term memory and give you a chance to get feedback. You may write as much or as little as you want to practice your skills, but the average should be 2 paragraphs. I will give you guiding questions or suggested details to include, but your entries should read like one story instead of separate answers to each question. Journal entries will also help prepare you for the speaking topic, so we suggest that you do this first. This week, we just want to see where you are now. So tell me, why English? Why are you learning English? What have you already done to try? Why did you choose this course? We're so glad that you did. What is your current English speaking level? And what do you expect from taking this course? We want to know about your biggest challenges with learning English and how you think your life will change once you have mastered English fluency. And finally, I'd like to see you tell me, what will you do to make sure you are successful? Make sure to enter your entry in the online community to get your feedback soon. I can't wait to read them.
We're really looking forward to seeing your answer in the comments, so make sure that you do that. Now, I'd like to share a conversation with you between myself and another native speaker of English. This will help you to improve your listening skills, your comprehension and understanding of even fast-talking native English speakers. And this is a very common topic, self-introductions. So I think you'll really enjoy the conversation, so let's jump into it. Hello, Brittany. How are you?
I'm fine.
Great, great. I'm really excited you're here with us today. We have some mutual friends online, and I reached out to you, and I'm so happy you came over to talk with us. So, can you tell me a little bit about you?
Well, I'm from Las Vegas.
Nice.
I was born and raised.
The city of sin?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, is that offensive?
No.
Okay, good. Okay. It's just the stereotype is like casinos, gambling, prostitution. Is it legal there?
No, it's just fun.
Okay,
Just
okay.
casinos
Just
and
fun.
Gambling.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I don't mean to go to a place that shouldn't go, but that's the stereotype about the city. So it's a fun city, but obviously if you're from there, you're not going to the casino every day, right?
No.
All right. So you're born and raised in Las Vegas. Tell me a little bit what it's like to live there, not as a tourist.
Well, as a tourist, we still do the regular stuff like all of you guys. We go to school.
Yeah.
Some of us go to church. There is a church in Las Vegas.
I want to say hallelujah. That's good. You don't picture Las Vegas and churches, except to get married, like the Elvis churches, right? That's famous. Cool. Okay, so school, church, and regular people things.
Yes.
Okay, great. Awesome. You're from Las Vegas in the U.S., and did you come straight out here to Tokyo from Las Vegas?
Yes, I did.
Okay, cool. Well, I want to ask you a little bit about your interests and your hobbies and kind of what you like to do. So let me ask you that in the next lesson.
Yes.
I hope you enjoyed meeting Brittany. Now I'm going to break that conversation down, which means to teach some phrases and vocabulary words, as well as phrasal verbs and details about that conversation that you need to truly understand it 100% and start to use these phrases and vocabulary words to sound more like a native speaker yourself. So let's watch the breakdown lesson now. Hey there, welcome to the Fluent in 15 Conversation series. This is the first breakdown lesson of the first conversation between Brittany and myself. So I'm going to focus on a few interesting phrases and other things that happen in the conversation that I'd like you to learn and use as soon as possible. So let's take a look behind me here. One phrase that I use in the conversation is, I reached out to Brittany. So when you reach out to someone, of course, reach is to extend your arm, right? When you reach out to someone, you are contacting them. You are contacting them and going out of your way to talk to that person. So I did not know Brittany very well, but I reached out to her because I wanted to talk to her and I wanted to share a conversation with you. Next, tell me a little about you. This is a great statement. It's actually not a question, it's a request to find out more about someone who you want to get to know. So you can ask this question, tell me a little bit about you. Let me hear you ask it. Request, tell me a little bit about you. Great, and you may hear this question, so be ready to answer it. As you can hear, as you can see, Brittany answers by saying where she's from. You may also answer by saying what you do, what your interests are. Okay? There are a lot of different ways you can answer this question. Just think about what you want to share with other people. Next, born and raised. So this is a great phrase when you want to say, I'm from, for example, I'm from Las Vegas, born and raised, which means you were born and you were raised in that city. But we shorten this and we often just say born and raised, which means you didn't move around to a lot of different cities. Okay? Is that offensive? So I asked Brittany because I'm worried that my question was offensive. This is really natural even for native speakers from the same country, okay? So I would encourage you to ask this question if you're worried that something you asked might be offensive. It's okay to ask. Tell me what it's like. What it's like means to describe, to detail. Tell me what it's like. What is it like to live in Las Vegas? So you're asking for more detail and description. Did you come straight out here from there, or from Las Vegas? So to come straight from here, here to here from there, right? To come straight here from there, imagine coming from Las Vegas to Tokyo, if I'm in Tokyo right now. That means you didn't stop to travel, you didn't stop to live in any other places. So to go straight or to come straight, all right? So of course, go is to move away from you, come is to move closer to you, the speaker. All right, so I hope that these questions, these phrases are helpful to focus on. I encourage you to repeat them after me. You can pause the video and then play it again as many times as you want, and use these phrases as soon as you can. Use them several times, many times, like 50 times. Say them to yourself. Talk to yourself in your mind. Use them with other English speakers. Write a story. Make a recording. You can be creative and use these phrases many times so that you remember them and you feel comfortable using them. So thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next conversation in lesson 2, where we get to know Brittany a little bit more. See you there. Bye for now. This is all a sneak peek from inside my complete English course, Fluent Communication. I really wanted to share it with you because it is an amazing course that has helped thousands of English learners from over 130 countries.
Hi, I am Sari from Finland.
I am from Brazil.
I am from Argentina.
I'm from Venezuela.
This is Hernan from Colombia.
I'm from Somalia.
And I am from Hong Kong.
I'm from Japan.
I'm from Mexico.
I live in Taipei, Taiwan.
I was born and raised in Thailand.
I was born in Freiburg, a lovely town in the south of Germany.
I'm from China.
I'm Italian.
I'm from Colombia, Cartagena.
Pre-registration is now open today. And so I want you to learn more about the course, how it works, the benefits to you, the details, the price, and see if it's a good fit for you. You can do that at gonaturaleNglish.com/pre-reg. Enter your name and your email address to pre-register today, and I'll send you all the information about the course so you can make a decision about joining. Now I have another short assignment for you. You know that you have to practice English in order to improve, so let's do it. Get ready to type in the comments your short self-introduction. It doesn't have to be long, maybe just 2 or 3 sentences about yourself. And this is a great way to get feedback on your English when you share it with other people right here. So take a look at the writing assignment, and while you're watching it, you can type your answer.
Hello, wonderful and motivated English language learners. I'm Nikita, and it's time for your new journal entry. Remember, journal entries are a great way to combine the skills you have learned so far. Write everything down on paper and type your entry into the online community to improve your long-term memory and give you a chance to receive feedback. This week, I want you to write a bio. Bio is short for biography, which is a story about yourself. Include information like where you are from, what you like to do for fun. Tell us what you do for work or who is in your family. Write about something you're good at. What are some of your favorite things or anything else you'd like to share about yourself? Remember to post your journal entry on the online community to receive feedback. I hope to read it soon.
We have so much more besides native English speaker conversations, conversation breakdowns, writing assignments. We also have pronunciation lessons, grammar lessons, phrasal verb lessons. And so I'd like to share a sample of each of those with you. Course pre-registration is now open, so if you would like to get more information about how to join the complete course, including speaking practice and individual corrections and feedback on your English, then you need to pre-register at gonaturalenglish.com/pre-reg. Now let's take a look at a pronunciation lesson.
Hey there, we're going to learn about the TH sound. That is such a big challenge for English learners from all over the world. So this lesson is going to be super helpful. The TH sound actually comes in two different sounds. So let's learn them both. The first one is voiceless. You don't need to know that, but you need to know that you're not using your voice. Let's talk about how to form the sound. You have to stick out your tongue. Don't worry. You're going to look a little strange, but this is really how we make the sound. Just like that. I'll show you again closer up in a minute. But first of all, stick your tongue out through your teeth just a little bit. It's okay to exaggerate it while you're learning because that's the way that you'll produce the sound in the right way. So stick out your tongue and then blow air through your teeth and your tongue. So, okay, I'll show you again in detail. Next, we're going to learn the voiced version of the TH sound, which is okay? You're going to use your voice, and it's the same lip and tongue position, but it sounds different. It almost sounds like a buzzing bee. You know the insect? Bzzz. A lot of people are scared of those bees, but that's how you have to make the sound for the TH. So let's practice with some examples. The first word is math with a voiceless TH sound. So please repeat after me. Math. Great. Our next word with a voiced TH sound is mother. Again, mother. Our next word with a voiced sound is weather. Weather. And our last word, think. Think. Okay, great. I think you've got it. Great job.
In this video, we will discuss the pronunciation of the TH letter combination. The TH letter combination is one of the more difficult consonant sounds for English language learners to pronounce. It can be found at the beginning, middle, or the end of a word. And there are two different ways to pronounce it. The voiced th and the unvoiced f. Now here's Gabby. She's going to show us the correct way to move your tongue and your lips to make both the voiced and unvoiced TH sound.
The TH sound is formed by placing your tongue between your teeth. And there's actually two different TH sounds. We have the voiceless and the voiced sound. So remember to place your tongue between your teeth and blow out air, or also add your voice and blow out air. So try it with me. First, the voiceless sound. Again. Okay, and the voice sound. Again. Kind of sounds like a buzzing bee. Let's practice some words together. Math. Think. Mother. Weather.
Okay, so here's some tips for pronunciation. While you're practicing the sound, practice in front of a mirror so you can see your lips, your tongue, and your whole mouth position. And exaggerate these sounds while you practice, and they will eventually become more natural. So let's look at words with the unvoiced th sound. Thin, thin. Therapy, therapy. Thought, thought. Breath, breath. Health, health. Mathematics, mathematics. Thank you, thank you. Now let's look at some words with the voiced th sound. Now I will say the words twice to give you time to repeat them after me. There, there. Breathe, breathe. Weather, weather. Father, father. Mother, mother. Together, together. Themselves, themselves. Now, let's look at some exceptions to the TH letter combination. In certain words, especially names of people or places, the TH letter combination may take a hard T sound, t, t, and not a th or a th sound. Let's look at some examples, like the name Thomas, the River Thames, Thompson. Now in all of these, TH makes a hard t sound and not a voiced or unvoiced TH sound. So remember these exceptions and keep practicing this sound.
Now that you've finally mastered that difficult sound in English, I'd like to share a grammar lesson with you so that we can solidify your understanding of grammar and use it confidently.
Hey everybody, welcome to our special video today where we will look at 3-part phrasal verbs. We're going to look today at 10 commonly used 3-part phrasal verbs in English conversations. Now, just to make sure that we all understand what we're talking about, I think it's important for us to remind ourselves what a phrasal verb is. A phrasal verb is a combination of words. For example, a verb and a preposition, or a verb and an adverb, that when used together takes on a whole different meaning than the original verb. For example, a common phrasal verb might be call off. Now, when we think of the verb call, we might think of a phone call, or I'm calling for someone, but the phrase call off means to cancel something. So phrasal verbs combine 2 or more words and take on a whole different meaning than the original verb. Most phrasal verbs are usually a verb and a preposition. Today we're going to look at phrasal verbs that contain more than just 2 words. They're 3 words. So let's begin with the phrasal verb to get away with. And we use this phrasal verb when we're talking about escaping blame or punishment. For example, that student always seems to get away with cheating on his tests. Now, when I say that, it means that the student cheats and somehow never gets punished for cheating. Or a common one that we use in our English conversation when we see somebody doing something maybe many different times, but never getting punished for it. We might say, that guy gets away with murder. Now, we're not talking about literally killing someone, but we're talking about doing a lot of bad things and never getting punished. So the phrasal verb get away with means to escape blame or punishment. Another common phrasal verb that has 3 words is to get away from. And we use this to talk about taking a short break or leaving somewhere for maybe a small period of time. For example, I have been working way too hard. I need to get away from this place for a little while. Maybe you're at the office. It's been a really crazy morning. You haven't had a normal break. You say, I need to get away from this so that I can come back and be refreshed. Maybe you look at a friend and you say, hey, you deserve a break. Why don't you get away from the daily grind for the next few days? And what we mean by that is maybe they've been working so hard for so long at many of the same things day by day by day that they need to do something different. Okay, the daily grind means the things that we do every day, day in and day out. And sometimes we just need to get away from the daily grind to do something different, to do something new. So get away from means to take a short break or leave. Another one that's very common is come up with. And this means to make a plan or an idea, sometimes to make an excuse. For example, she came up with a great idea to help her friends learn phrasal verbs. So she thought about something that would really help her friends learn it. She came up with this idea, she made this idea, and it's been helpful. Or he's always full of excuses. I wonder what new excuse he'll come up with now. I'm sure you know people who, when you ask them to do something, they always have a reason for not doing it. And so maybe they come up with or they invent some kind of excuse to not do something. Another phrasal verb is to look up to. And this means to admire someone. For example, I've always looked up to my brother. He's been so good to me. He's a hard worker. He's kind. He's good to everybody he meets. He's someone I can admire. Sadly today, many people complain that they have no one to look up to. And of course, I think if we look hard, there's always people, even though we all have our problems, that we can admire, that we can look up to. To look forward to. I love this one. This means to be excited about something in the future. For example, I'm really looking forward to my vacation next week. In other words, I'm excited about the vacation I am going to take. Or she's looking forward to her graduation in May. She's worked hard to earn this degree. And so she's put in a lot of time, she's worked very hard, and now she's excited about graduating. She's looking forward to it. Okay, our next one is to put up with. And this means to endure. For example, I have a teacher friend who has a lot of students who talk in class, and I might say, I feel sorry for him. He's had to put up with a lot of bad students who disrupt the class. He's had to endure all of those students and their behavior that can be a disruption. Or she's had to put up with a lot at work in order to get her promotion. Maybe where she works, the people have not been so good to her, but because she endured, because she continued to work hard, she finally got a promotion, even though she had to put up with a lot of people who were not too kind to her at work. Another one is to live up to, and this means to fulfill. And we use this oftentimes when we talk about somebody living up to or fulfilling their potential. We might say, because of so many injuries, the athlete never lived up to his potential. Maybe a tremendous athlete, would have been a great soccer player, but just constantly struggled with injuries. And so maybe they never became great, even though they had the potential or ability to become great. We might also say that many people fail to live up to their potential because they are afraid to take chances. In other words, because they just keep doing what they have always been doing, they never go on to greatness. And that's, of course, a shame. Many of you, you're trying new things. You're trying to learn English. You're working hard. You're taking a chance. You may not learn English, but you're trying. And because of that, I'm sure that you will live up to your potential. To keep up with. This is to be equal with somebody or something. And we use this a lot when we talk about fashion trends. A common phrase that people have used in English conversation is keeping up with the Joneses. And this means trying to have the same things as your neighbors. Your neighbors get a new car, and so in order to keep up with the Joneses, you need to get a new car. Okay? Personally, I believe that people waste too much time trying to keep up with everybody else. They're more concerned with what other people have than simply with what they have and what they can do with what they have. Don't let other people determine how you live your life, okay? Don't try to keep up with the Joneses. You will always fail. It's not worth it. So live the life that you have and don't worry about trying to keep up with everybody else. Look down on. And again, I would encourage you after the video's over to look over the phrasal verbs that we're using and try to practice them. But to look down on is to disrespect or disregard. I would say don't let anybody look down on you because of your past. Maybe you grew up in a small village. Maybe you made some mistakes when you were young. But don't let other people disrespect you because of what you've done in the past. Don't let them look down on you. It seemed that others were looking down on her because she was different from everybody else. This often happens, unfortunately, when someone's different. They may have different beliefs or different values. They may look different or talk different. They may come from a different country or culture. And because of that, sometimes, sadly, people might look down on them. And I hope you don't do that with others. All right, the almost last one, to get on with. And that means to continue to do something, to make progress. For example, after they split up, they both had a hard time getting on with their lives. And when we use the phrase split up, maybe a relationship is broken, maybe there has been a divorce. And once that happens, in this sentence, both of the people had a hard time just continuing on with their lives, continuing on and making progress with their day-to-day living. So again, we've looked at a lot of different phrasal verbs, 10 specifically, 3-part phrasal verbs. I would encourage you to go back, watch the video, look at the examples, practice, and even on our Facebook group, perhaps even try to write down a few of these so that you can have others look and make sure that you're using them properly. But I hope you have a great day, and we'll look forward to our next video. Bye.
I hope you enjoyed that short and sweet, clear explanation of English language grammar. Now, you know how important phrasal verbs are. Native English speakers use them much more than English learners. And if you're going to understand native English speakers, you need to understand phrasal verbs. They are truly the key to advanced English speaking. So I'd like to share a phrasal verb lesson with you. Now remember, all of these sample lessons are from inside my premium complete English course, Fluent Communication. Pre-registration is now open for you to get more information about the course, the method, how it works, the benefits to you as a member, and the price. So pre-register today by entering your name and email address at gonaturalenglish.com/pre-reg. Don't enter your name or email address in the comments here. You have to go to the pre-registration page at gonaturalenglish.com/pre-reg. Now, let's take a look at phrasal verbs. Hey Naturals, how's it going? It's your American English teacher, Gabby Wallace, here to work through phrasal verbs with work. Work is such an important verb in our lives. If you work for a living, or if you're lucky enough to not have to work for a living, we still need to talk about work. It's an important part of many people's lives. So we're going to learn about phrasal verbs that we use with work, and there are several of them. Now, let's get in the mood of this lesson. If you can remember, or if you want to do a quick search on YouTube for a song named Work by Rihanna, let's listen to this. Let's get pumped up to work through phrasal verbs with work, 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 just like the song. So, phrasal verbs with work. Before we jump into the lesson, I want us to just focus for a moment on the pronunciation of work. It's that sound that we talk a lot about in English pronunciation, that we use a lot in English pronunciation. So it's not work, it's not walk, it's work. An ER sound, even though it's spelled with an OR. All right. So quickly, we talked about pronunciation of work. Now let's jump into phrasal verbs with work. Let's go. To work in or work into means to add one thing to another idea, to add. So really think about to enter one idea into another. It means to add, to work in or work into. Either one is okay. They pretty much mean the same thing. So for example, I'll try to work in your idea about the recycling plant into the proposal, but the draft has already been sent to the editor. So we have this existing draft idea, and your idea about the recycling plant, just a made-up example, is something that we're going to try to add or to work in to the proposal. Okay? Let's look at another example, and I'd like for you to repeat these examples after me to not only improve your phrasal verb knowledge, but also to improve your pronunciation and just practice feeling how these words sound as you say them in full sentences. Another example, the Gypsy Kings. This is a band, a really fun band that play Spanish music. With kind of Arabic hints of different types of music. So the Gypsy Kings like to work a lot of flamenco rhythms and sounds into their music. So you can see that work in or work into can be separated. So the preposition and the verb may be separated by other words, like a lot of flamenco rhythms and sounds. Or they could be together. Next, to work on, to form, shape, or improve something. To work on. Okay, so this is kind of like to build, to improve on something. Let's look at an example. When I go to the gym, I like to work on my endurance and strength training. Now, this cannot be separated. We need to keep work and on together. Can also mean to influence someone. To influence someone. So you're going to work on a person, not a thing or a skill. I promised my coworkers I'd work on our boss to give us the morning off next week for the Red Sox parade. So again, you can work on a thing, you can work on a skill, or you can work on a person. So when you're working on a thing or a skill, it means to improve. But when you work on a person, it means to try to influence that person to agree with you. Okay, next we have the opposite of on. We have to work off, which doesn't really mean the opposite in terms of phrasal verbs, but on and off are opposites, right? So to work off means to remove or to get rid of an unpleasant feeling by doing an energetic activity. So a lot of the times we work off a bad feeling, or we work off tiredness, or we work off stress, or we work off perhaps any kind of negative feeling lazy maybe. So for example, she works off stress by running on the beach every morning. Wow, that sounds lovely. I'd love to do that myself. Unfortunately, I don't live next to the beach right now, but I would love to do that. I do go for a jog, or I go running a little bit every morning, but just around downtown, which is not quite as pretty as the beach. But anyway, you can use this together or separately. So for example, we could say she works stress off by running on the beach every morning. Either one is okay. Another way to use to work off is with exercise. So we're not just working off a negative feeling, we could actually work off calories. It means to exercise in order to compensate for eating something indulgent. For example, I know I shouldn't eat that whole piece of cheesecake, but I know I'll work it off tomorrow at the gym. So we could say work it off, or we could say work the cheesecake off, or we could say work off the cheesecake. But we cannot say I'll work off it tomorrow. We couldn't say that. That would be incorrect. All right, we have another phrasal verb I'd like to talk about with work. You probably know this one, but there's several different ways to use it. So let's look at some lesser known ways to use work out. It can mean to calculate. To work out numbers is a very common way to use this phrasal verb. It doesn't only mean to exercise, as you may be familiar with, but it means to calculate. So for example, after dinner, we had to work out how much we owed so that we could split the bill. So to calculate how much we owed. But calculate is quite formal, and to work out means the same thing, or to figure out. To figure out is another way to say this, or to work out. It's not really like negotiate, but it could be similar to negotiate, but in this example, it's not. It's simply to calculate. Workout can also mean, as I mentioned, to figure out, to make sense of something. So to figure out is a bit looser than to calculate. Calculate is very precise, right? But to work out is a bit looser in a sense. So for example, most people hate building furniture from IKEA, a furniture store, but I can work out the instructions easily, even if they're in Swedish. So IKEA is a furniture store from Sweden originally, and now it's all over the world, where you usually have to assemble the furniture yourself. I've bought several pieces of furniture from IKEA, and I agree, they're not too difficult to figure out or to work out how to assemble them. We can also say work out means for something to happen in a satisfactory way. So, for example, I wasn't sure if I'd be able to go on vacation with my friends because the tickets were expensive, but I worked it out, which means I did something to make that money to get that money or to make that money appear. So I worked it out, or maybe someone helped me with the cost of my ticket. It's a bit vague. This way of saying I worked it out is not so precise. It just means that I created or figured out a way to make it happen, to go on vacation, to buy the tickets, but we don't know how. It's a little mysterious here. But to work it out means to solve a problem. And finally, probably the most common usage of to work out that you're probably very familiar with is to exercise. For example, I try to work out a few times a week because it makes me feel healthy. For sure, I do. I hope you do too. Okay, next, to work over. To improve something, usually a draft or prototype. So for example, the architects need to work over the blueprints a little longer because their measurements weren't accurate. Oh no, so they need to improve their blueprints, to work over the blueprints a little longer. We could also say to work on. This is a quite similar phrasal verb. You might hear one or the other, but to work over could be used more specifically with a draft or a prototype if you're creating some kind of work. Another phrasal verb with work is to work through, to deal with and resolve a problem, usually an emotional one. But it could be a logical problem, not an emotional problem. It could be working through the numbers. But we often use this when it comes to emotions. For example, consulting a therapist is a healthy way to work through emotions like grief, guilt, or anxiety. I'm feeling a little down. I need to work through some problems I'm having in my relationship or something like that. Okay, next, to work up means to excite or to stir up, to get someone excited. For example, it's easy to get worked up about the state of our environment when you see how much trash is polluting our oceans. So to work up could be positive or negative. So to get worked up is not necessarily a happy thing. It could be a happy thing, but it could also be if you're feeling angry or you're feeling agitated about something. It means also to be excited in a happy way. Like I got really worked up planning my birthday party. I was very excited about it. So it could go either way. But I would say most often it's going to be something negative. Sorry to be confusing. But I think that to work up could be used either way. But mostly you'll hear it about something that's agitating or a bit negative. Could be politics, the state of our environment, something that you're fighting or disputing. All right, next, workup has another meaning, to develop. For example, I forgot to eat lunch today, so I've worked up quite an appetite. I can't wait to eat dinner. Another example would be, I finally worked up the courage to email someone really famous, or to talk to someone who I was nervous about talking to. You know, maybe if you really want to talk to someone famous or someone who you admire, but you're kind of nervous about it, you have to work up the courage to do that. So it's like to develop, right? To develop the courage, but we would usually say to work up the courage to do something. Well, that is it. So to quickly review, we talked about to work in, which means to add or work into. To work on has two different meanings. Do you remember them? To work on. If you don't remember, go back and review this lesson. To work off has two different meanings. Again, do you remember? If not, you might want to review this lesson and take notes as you watch these lessons, especially if you are learning new ways to use these phrasal verbs. I bet there's a few new ways in these lessons that you haven't used before, and it would be really helpful to take notes. And then you can make your own sentences as well. Now, to work out had 4 different ways to use it. Can you remember all of them? Well, you can certainly go back and review them. To work over, to work through, and to work up. To work up had 3 different ways that we can use it. So you can see that these are really common, and we use these phrasal verbs in several different ways. Different but similar. And we definitely use these way more than their more academic, more formal equivalents. Like, for example, to calculate the dinner bill. We would say to work out the dinner bill or the check. Okay, so if you can't remember any of these, go back, watch this again, take the quiz to check your understanding, and most importantly, do not forget to make your own sentences. Come use your own sentences, write them, record them, post them, talk to us using these phrasal verbs, because that's one of the best ways to remember how to use them, is to use them, to get feedback on them, and also to teach other people about how to use them. So you can be a big help in our course group as well. We need you, and your sentences, your real life communication is so important to us. So we'll see you there. Thanks for watching. Remember, there are lots of phrasal verbs in English, but as long as you're learning one new phrasal verb each day, learning little by little, 15 minutes a day, you're going to rapidly improve your English fluency. So again, I'd like to invite you to get more information about our complete English course, Fluent Communication. Pre-registration is open today for you to get more information about the course method, how it works, the benefits to you, what's included inside, and the price. So pre-register with your name and email address at gonaturaleNglish.com/pre-reg. It only takes 2 seconds, so I'll see you there. Thank you so much for watching this course sample. If you enjoyed it, share it with your friends who are also learning English. There's a ton of amazing sample lessons right in this video. So thanks again for watching. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you at pre-registration and hopefully inside the complete course. Bye for now.